Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful day in May. It's Sunday. I'm here in North Carolina where it's going to be 96 fucking degrees. Hope it isn't that hot up in Pennsylvania this weekend, whatever, because
You would be correct. No, it is that warm. It's going to be 90 today.
yes, we are getting a 6 or 7 day stretch in May of 90-degree weather. So looking forward to it.
Yes, up here in Pennsylvania,
Pennsylvania.
it says that today is going to be a high of 89, tomorrow 96, Tuesday 97, Wednesday 88, and then Thursday it's going to cool off and go back to the 60s. But, if we're getting upper 90-degree temperature heat wave days prior to Memorial Day, I just can't wait to think what August is going to be like up here.
Oh, it's going to be splendid.
But hey, the planet's not getting warmer or anything. The weather systems aren't completely out of whack or anything.
A kind of side note here. I think it's kind of funny. Well, you can like give nicknames to states, Pennsylvania and North Kakalaki. Yeah, that's where we live, folks. Two in Pennsylvania and the other one in North Kakalaki. I think that's
Well,
just
Pennsylvania's got all of its own stupid little quirks, as anybody who's ever lived in Pennsylvania knows. There was a video I saw years ago. I don't remember where I saw it. It was probably on Facebook. But it was like teenagers from California or like early 20 somethings from California trying to pronounce Pennsylvania town names.
oh Lord.
And it was hysterical because one of the ones, yeah, here it is. Californians try to pronounce Pennsylvania cities. You can find that if you search something like that on YouTube, you can find it. And what was funny is it had like Conshohocken on it, which, yeah,
Schuylkill.
Conshohocken looks confusing because it's long and it's got multiple H's.
Yeah.
But it's pronounced exactly like it's spelled. You just have to sit there, look at it for a minute, and say it slowly and carefully, and you'll get it. Reading was on it, so of course,
Reading.
yeah, people are gonna say
reading Pennsylvania. We read a lot here.
People are gonna say reading. Let me see here. Let me just pull the video real quick to see if they have the list of.
I'm sure Schuylkill was on there because nobody knows how to pronounce
I'm
Schuylkill.
almost positive. Lititz was on it. Lititz.
Lititz.
It's
the Lititz.
What did they throw in right after Reading? Emmaus.
Yeah.
And
see, for me, I don't know how you guys say it, but I say Emmaus. I've always said it like that. I know that's not how it's actually pronounced, but that's the way I've always been saying it because I'm pretty sure somebody said it to me like that. I'm like, okay, but I know it's Emmaus.
Right, that's the thing. On like the video, they have it like broken down into like chapters, for lack of a better thing, and it has like the name, and then it has in parentheses like how you pronounce it. So like for Reading, it says Red Ding, So, but yeah, for Emmaus, I've always said Emmaus because that's how I first heard it said back when I first moved here, and when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, whatever the hell it was. I heard somebody say Emmaus.
Yeah, same here.
The pronunciation here says it's supposed to be Emmaus, or
E is like a short A,
right? Or Emmaus, not like E, but
Yeah, but I've always said Eumaeus, which is completely wrong. Like I don't know where I heard that, but I know I heard it from somebody, or I would have just made it up.
But so of course, how are the people in this video trying to say it? Emos.
Yeah,
and to be fair, that's a completely fair way to look at that word and pronounce it if you have no idea how it's supposed to be pronounced.
That's funny. I like that.
Then after Emmaus, they have Lemoyne, which is funny. That's not exclusively Pennsylvanian, but
yeah,
that is funny.
And then Chillisquaque.
What's that?
Chillisquaque. Chillisquaque. I don't know where that is, but Chillisquaque. That's
I
how
like when they throw Lancaster up there because I have always thrown a G in that word. I don't know why because I
yeah.
always say Lancaster, but it's Lancaster.
But Chillisquaki is quite obviously an old
That's got to be out near Pittsburgh.
probably, but that's
Yeah.
that's an old native word,
Yeah.
that comes from like the Iroquois tribes and everything. So um
Did you know you
yeah.
were going to get a history lesson, Joe, on the names of the?
No, I'm just actually, yeah, okay.
History 101 with Darth Pat here today, ladies and gentlemen, boys
Actually,
and
this
girls.
this is this is kind of funny. Schuylkill is actually not in this video, and you would have think that Schuylkill would be one that they would definitely put in there.
Yeah, I'm surprised that one's not in there because people would fuck that one up for sure.
Yeah, but the comments are pretty funny because I'm seeing so many people uh say like suggest other ones that they could put in like a sequel, and it's like, yeah, you could. And then of course you could also have the video saying, here are actual Pennsylvania town names, and have people go, huh? Like Moscow, Mars, Intercourse,
Intercourse makes me
Blue
laugh.
ball, blue bell, or blue ball. Yeah, blue bell.
Yeah.
Middlesex,
But that's just it. You could have
Virginville.
you could have so many fun videos like that because Pennsylvania has its weirdness. I'm sure every state does, but Pennsylvania is the state that we've all lived in, and Jeremy and I still live in. So yeah,
Um,
Oh, ESPN update. Shea Gildress-Alexander just won MVP.
Big surprise there.
Um, who
It's
cares?
GA, the
Who
flop
cares?
artist, artist formerly known as Flopper.
Not
um,
surprised he won.
I mean, good for
so
him, and yeah.
Consecutive MVPs. I'm trying to
so
see if they have like the totals for if.
So it's funny when you put the GPS in. Like I don't know how often Pat you get down to this area, but when you're on Shanersville Road, it
Hmm.
says it's Shonersville.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take a
Yeah.
left on Shonersville. I'm like,
I think
GPS is
yep.
hilarious when you're driving it. It pronounces the fucking streets and shit. It's hilarious. Especially when you know the proper pronunciation and GPS just fucks it up.
I have for a
It's
long time
great.
disabled the voice on my Maps app on my phone.
Mhm.
I don't have a true GPS. I just have, the Maps app on my phone. And I did that for two reasons. One was because it would always, like, if I had it open and running while I'm driving and I'm also like listening to music, it would always come on over top of my music, and that always
Yes.
just annoyed the shit out of me. But the way it would mispronounce words also annoyed the shit out of me. And Shonersville Road, yeah, was uh
I'm
was
like, I don't
definitely
know
one
what
of the
road that
ones.
is.
Yeah, after I
Where am
think
I
I
making
heard
a
it for
left?
like the second or third time, I said, you know what, that's just got to stop. I can't have that happen.
It's funny though.
I,
It
I
always makes
oh,
me laugh.
yeah. Also, I mean, I'm not gonna dog on Shy or Shay. How's his first pronounced?
Shay.
Shay. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think there was a discussion about this, but obviously Oklahoma City did just fine, going 64-18 and everything, and being the one seed and blah blah blah. He only played 68 games out of 82. And I understand you averaged 31 points.
It's load management, man. This load management stuff is crazy.
But
It
don't
only
they
makes me
don't
mad for this reason. Before you continue, it makes me mad for this reason. If I was still purchasing tickets to go see NBA games, I'd be very pissed if my favorite player was out that game because of load management. What the hell am I paying for? Like I didn't come. I come to, and I think that's where a lot of NBA teams don't realize people come to see specific players. If
Mhm.
that player's not playing, they're not purchasing that ticket.
Yep. I know he was injured, I believe, with a hamstring or a quad or something like that. I don't remember a specific injury, which had him out for like 2 weeks or something like that. But there was something else too. He was out for that. I think it was for more of a personal reason. I think I'm trying to think if he was the one that had a personal reason why he was out too. Or that was, oh no, that was maybe Jokic. Somebody was out for a personal reason. I don't remember if it was for a baby being born or something else, but then they got hurt and they kind of appealed it, and they were let back in to be observed for awards for the end of the season awards. remember if it was Shea or not, or Jokic or whatever the one, whoever it was. But yeah, the game thing is a little bit different because I know a lot of people were like trying to vet for, Wemby to people thought Wemby had a really good chance of winning the MVP this year too as well because he's had a good year. But listen, votes are in. SGA won.
Well, the only thing the reason I'm really bringing this up, I mean, because obviously the guy's a great player. Um, don't they have some kind of requirement that you must play like X number of games to be considered for
I
year-end
think it's
awards?
62.
Okay, because I remember reading something about LeBron missing too many games this year, so he couldn't be considered for like it was going to break his streak of like defensive player of the year or all defensive team award or something like that.
Yeah, I think they
Well,
have to play
definitely the
like
defensive because that fucker don't play no defense. But yeah, it
yeah,
was some award.
yeah, I don't excuse me.
It,
I don't
I just also want to say how again it's interesting. Like we know, of course, in the NBA, you can't win without stars. You have to have stars to win.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but Shea's path to stardom is a little interesting. The Hornets took him with the 11th pick in 2018, and he was traded on draft night to the Clippers for Miles Bridges, a 2020 second round pick, and a 2021 second round pick, who became Vernon Carey Jr. and Scotty Lewis. And I don't even know who the hell drafted them. It doesn't say that on the basketball reference transaction page, just that that's what those picks ended up being.
Gotcha.
Um, Miles Bridges, when I didn't even remember who Miles Bridges was. When I clicked on him, I'm like, oh, okay, he's been a decent player and everything for Charlotte. Um, he's not a star.
Mhm.
No,
You know,
absolutely not.
he's like a good, apparently fourth option. You know,
Yeah, at best, third,
and
fourth.
and of course he had been picked by the Clippers with the 12th pick in that draft. So that was one of those things where the guys were picked with consecutive picks and then got traded for each other on draft night. I always love those trades. Happened with Vince Carter and Anton Jameson. I remember that was amusing to me since they were teammates at Carolina.
Oh yeah, true.
And then after he plays his rookie year with the Clippers, he gets traded by the Clippers with old buddy Danilo Gallinari, a 2021 first round pick, a 2022 first round pick, a 2023 first round pick, a
Damn.
2024 first round pick, and a 2025 first round pick. Oh, and a 2026 first round pick to the Thunder for Paul George and a 2025 first round pick. I
We
think
know
you'd
who
have
won
to
that trade.
say, I think you'd have to say the Thunder won that deal.
Yeah, pretty
Well,
much.
here's what I'll say. Like sometimes, and Joe, and we've seen this with other players. It takes them a while to find their stride in the NBA. Some players, boom, right away. Like LeBron was right away, but he was a different type of player. Like I'll give credit where credit's due. LeBron could acclimate to the NBA, the style of play, and everything super, super quick. Like it did not take him long to find his stride. Other guys take a while to find their stride. Some guys are system players, way the system's built around the style of play. What is their style of play? Is the system fit their way that they play? And I feel like the Thunder's style of play fits SGA. Like if he was on a team, would he be as good as he is? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if that ever happens. But I feel like the system that he's in lets him highlight the things that he does really, really well.
Yeah, and he's a good player.
Hmm.
He's
Well,
turned into a damn good
and,
player.
and like Shy's rookie year with the Clippers wasn't bad. He averaged 10.8 points, shot 47% in 26 minutes. His first year with Oklahoma City, he played 70 games. That's the year, of course, it got cut short, because of COVID. Um, he averaged 19 points. The following year, he only played 35 games and he averaged 23.7 points. 22, he only played 56 games, but he averaged 24 and a half points. And then the following year, it was his first All-Star year. He finished fifth in the MVP voting. He topped 30 points a game for the first time for 4 straight years. And then the year after that, he was MVP runner-up, and now he's won back-to-back MVP. So, but Paul George's tenure with the Clippers was mostly defined by him not being on the court, I
Pretty
think.
much.
So, it just that trade did not work the way the Clippers envisioned it working. So,
No, no, not at all. And Paul George really hasn't been Paul George ever since anyway, after that,
Yeah,
realistically.
and now he's just older. He's 35, so I
Oh
wonder if
yeah, and the
I wonder if
Sixers
Paul
did
George,
exactly what they do. They pick up old fragile fuckers and throw them on the court.
yeah, he's played a total of 78 games for the Sixers over the 2 seasons he's been with them.
Yeah,
Jeez.
because he's always injured, like always injured.
Well, see, that was the thing. So, um, going back to like the 2014-15 season with the Pacers, he only played 6 games. After that, his last 2 years with the Pacers, he played 81 and 75. His 2 years with Oklahoma City, he played 79 and 77. But then in his 5 years with the Clippers, he played 48. Now that was 2019-20, so COVID. 2020-21, he played 54. Again, I think there was might have been some COVID shave offs. I don't remember. But then the next 3 years of the Clippers, he played 31, 56, and then back up to 74 games. But so, yeah, he's more kind of, he isn't more off the court than on the court, but it's like, it feels that way because
Yeah,
he
yeah,
gives
it
you so
does.
much time.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing your team, Jeremy, needs to get rid of is Joel Embiid. That guy
Oh,
needs to go.
absolutely. That guy's a freaking turd.
There's a couple of,
But who's gonna want him? That's the thing. Like, who wants him? Like,
well,
he's the
yeah.
biggest. He's a big ass dude that falls down all the time, and half the time when he falls down, he hurts himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even need to fall down. He's falling down to try and draw foul calls, which
Hence
they're
why
not giving him.
he's missed more games than played games in his NBA career.
Well, let's see how.
And it all started. They didn't even know if he was ever going to play. They're like, he's got feet problems.
Yeah.
Awesome. They drafted him, and he was injured when
They drafted him on what his potential talent was, not based off of his injury.
It's like, and I got so sick of hearing trust the process.
Wasn't that when
Bullshit.
you guys like drafted 2 centers back-to-back years or some shit like that?
Yeah, they got Greg Odom. Was that the Greg Odom and then somebody else?
No, Greg Oden was drafted by Portland, wasn't he?
Yeah, Portland. Um,
Oh, that's right. Who the hell did they draft? Shit.
Noel.
Oh
Norris.
yeah, New Orleans Noel, who was
Yeah.
terrible.
You drafted him, and then the next following year you got Joel Embiid. I think it was like you went back-to-back years for centers or something.
New Orleans
something
Noel,
like that.
and that's the thing. New Orleans Noel, really good college player.
Yeah,
Could not transition to the NBA that way.
he was more of a supporting role player in the NBA than he wasn't going to be a superstar in the NBA.
Damn, he's been out of the NBA for 3 years now.
It's just like
He played briefly
Yeah.
for the Knicks.
it's just one of those things. Like the current owners of the Sixers and who they had as their GM or whoever it is that made that decision. I'm not sure exactly who in the NBA for each team makes that decision. I'm not sure if it's a general manager or if it's, like a Howard Roseman type figure or
Yeah,
who it is.
every team still has a general manager who should be doing those things. Yes.
But
GM, vice president.
why can't I think of his name right now that was doing all those drafts because everybody was making fun of the dude. And then all of a sudden everybody thought he got it right, which he still he definitely did not. Boy, I can't remember. I got to look that up. I'm going to look that up real quick.
Well, while you're doing that real quick, I just want to say
Yes.
Embiid is under contract for 3 more years
Jesus.
at cap hits of 58.1, 62.7, and 67.4 million. And what I was trying to say real quick as you're still looking that up. So
No,
I found a couple of things popped up on my Facebook feed.
Daryl Morey.
Mhm.
Oh, isn't Morey being like pushed to the side now and someone else is supposed to be taking over?
No, it wasn't
saw
Morey.
a highlight.
No,
I
that's still the
saw-
wrong person. It wasn't Daryl Morey. That was I want to find out who was. I want to find out who was before Daryl Morey.
Was it because after you guys lost to the Knicks, wasn't I thought I saw something ESPN where Morey's being pushed out and someone else is going to be replacing him or some shit like that?
Well, the current GM of the 76ers is Elton Brand.
Yeah.
Now, the AI overview, when I just typed in 76ers GM, says Elton Brand currently serves as general manager of the Sixers. The organization is in the midst of a front office restructuring after parting ways with president of basketball operations, Daryl Morey, with
Yeah.
former executive Bob Myers currently overseeing the search for a new lead decision maker. So that's kind of funny because it's like you have a general manager, but if you're searching for somebody else to be the lead decision maker, then what's the point of having general managers? And yeah, it's
So
just
it kind of makes it seem like Elton Brand is
Sam
kind of
Hinkie.
there, but not actually doing the major decision making.
yeah.
Sam Hinkie was the guy. That's who it
Oh,
was.
Hanky. Yes, I know they had some
He was
nicknames
the
for him
trust
with
the
the name Hanky.
process. Fucking trust the process. Trust my ass, dude. Fucking terrible ass
Well,
picks for the Sixers.
well, at least he didn't say the.
And then after he
At
made
least
all
he
his
didn't say the
picks,
culture is damn
he
good.
left. He left after he made all those picks, and he's like, I put together the team. He left.
I mean, shit, my team's going through that now. New head coach, new vice president, new GM, got to go through all that shit. We got like one of the guys, and supposedly the other day he hired two other people to be part of his little inner circle of management group. So that is done. Now we just need to find a coach and see that we don't fuck up the fourth round, the fourth overall pick in the draft, and the 15th overall pick in the draft. So
Yeah.
yes, let's cross my fingers and toes. We don't fuck it up.
Yeah. Um. So anyway, I found like a couple of like these like fun like people who do like reactions and everything on Facebook. There's
Yes.
one's this girl who I've seen do a lot of like Eagles content, but that she was also doing like 76ers content. She's kind of funny, but you can tell these people of course are performing to a certain extent. It's the way they get
Of,
clicks and
of
everything.
course.
Um, so she was kind of funny, but I found this other guy who he's either a great actor or he's just a fucking idiot of the highest proportion. Because anytime I was watching any videos of him reacting to any of the 76ers Knicks games where, of course, the Knicks swept, um, all he was trying to do is to say that Jalen Brunson wasn't any good. He kept calling them the poverty Knicks. I don't know. I really don't know what the fuck that is supposed to mean. Um,
Clue.
Maybe what their cap is, their salary right now, like they're paid
well, I was
guys.
going to
I don't
say the
know.
Knicks don't not spend money, so I mean, um, but one or both of them was talking about because this is why I was mentioning this. You talk about Embiid. One or both of them was saying about like, oh, they barely beat us, and Embiid wasn't in the lineup. Now we're getting Embiid back, and yeah, blah blah blah. And then they start playing, and then all I was seeing in both of their videos was them criticizing Embiid for being worthless and not doing this or not doing that. And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought you said Embiid was going to be the reason you guys won and everything.
Yep.
And like the one guy was again the guy who I said is probably an idiot was hilarious because in his game 4 video that I saw, he was like 4-3. It was always going to be 4-3. It's going to be 4-3. And I'm like, somebody want to tell him that nobody's ever come back from 3-0 in the NBA?
Yep.
Yeah.
3-1's different. 3-0, not so much.
Yeah, and see that was the thing. I actually did have game 4 on last weekend. Um, and I was just
It
like,
wasn't even close to any of the games.
well, the one game was it game 2? I can't remember now, but game 4 was like the next big, because the Knicks still had their struggles with the Hawks, and I don't know what it is with them and the Hawks, especially now that Trae Young's not there. But they came out in game 4, and yeah, they weren't missing shots really either in game 4. They made so many threes, but they also came out and they just played with the look of we ain't fucking around, we are finishing this today. So
Yeah, wasn't the
now
game like 136 to 90 or something like
no, it
that?
was like 144 to 114 was the final of that game last weekend for game 4. And now, of course, my concern is they haven't played in a week. They're not going to play until Tuesday because the Cleveland Detroit series has gone 7 now. So I'm like, oh, they're going to be rusty or blah blah blah. And
Yeah,
they
they
didn't play,
played tonight at 8, I think.
and they didn't play well against Detroit in the regular season. They were never really at full strength. It looked like for any of the games against Detroit, but still, the Detroit kind of beat the shit out of them every time they played this year. But like I was talking with our friend AJ, I don't really know if the Knicks can beat either Oklahoma City or San Antonio anyway. So, and of course, he was AJ was saying to me, and I kind of got on his case for this. He was like, aren't you going to feel good if they at least make the finals? I said, no. I said, they've made the finals in my lifetime. Yes, it's been a long time, but so what? They've made the finals. Making the finals doesn't do dick for me. I want the championship. They're the only team I root for that has never won a championship in my lifetime.
That's
So,
because they are the Knicks.
but I mean, look at
There's always that one team that they can't beat. They couldn't beat the Bulls.
Yeah, well,
And
who could be Jordan?
then it was San
Poole?
Antonio. Then it was, and then, well, then they just kind of sucked for a long time.
Yeah, well, that's what it was. I was looking at their basketball reference, franchise history page the other day, and reminding myself of just how bad they've been since their last finals appearance, which was in the lockout season back in, was that 99 or 2000, when they got swept by the Spurs, the Sprewell-led Knicks. So.
Yes.
The Sprewell-led Knicks.
Latrell Sprewell.
They didn't deserve to be in the finals. They got into the finals somehow, and the Spurs were like, "Pah."
Yeah, was that Duncan's first ring? I think so.
I believe so.
I think it was Duncan's first
I believe
ring.
that was Duncan's.
Because that was last year.
That was last year with Robinson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk about a team looking out.
Excuse me, Joe. Sorry. What a mentor to learn from. David Robinson, one of the guys that played the big man position so well.
Well, so like Joe was just alluding to, talking about looking out. Robinson missed most of that one season with an injury, and the Spurs were fucking awful. They only won like 16, 17 games.
Yep.
And I looked that up too, because of something I read about a week or so ago about potential changes to the draft lottery to discourage tanking. But the Spurs still only had like the third worst record in the NBA that year, even with Robinson being out. But they ended up with the first pick, and obviously they took Duncan.
Yeah.
And because it also jogged my mind. There was an article years ago. It was either in Sports Illustrated or the Sporting News, talking about the what if the Celtics, who I think had the worst record in the league that year, won the lottery and were able to pick Duncan instead. And you're kind of comparing it with what could have been versus what actually happened with the Celtics. And this was the Rick Pitino Celtics years. So, how it became a bit of a train wreck and everything. And I think we all remember, the Larry Bird is not walking through that door.
Yeah.
Shit. But I don't know. I just thought it was really amusing. But yeah, again, the Spurs did totally luck out. Because Robinson missed 1 year, it enabled them to have a huge legacy going forward for so many years. And, hey, sometimes that's just the way the ball bounces or is set up. Oh, no reaction to that? Okay, fine.
Because what was that? That was... What year was that again?
Yes, because why would they rig the draft lottery for the Spurs?
Yeah, a market that nobody watches.
Right. If anything, they would have rigged it for the Celtics.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things like you mentioned Rick Pitino, and that how many. I would say there's probably only been a handful of coaches that came from the college ranks that were able to adjust to NBA coaching.
Yes, and Rick Pitino was very clearly not one of them.
Yeah. Well, it's also when I read one of Coach K's books, he was asked many a times to come take over an NBA team.
Oh yeah, there was talk for years.
Refused. Like 1 year he really thought about it, I guess, but he refused all the time because he was very self-aware. Like whether you like the guy or not, because he coached for Duke for all those years. He was very self-aware. The way he coaches, what he cares about, does not translate to the NBA because it is a different beast than the NBA. You can't treat players like that now. Well, even back then, you could not treat players, not that they treated them bad, but the way that they talked to them and what the expectation was. That is a college thing. It is not an NBA thing. And that's where I think a lot of, for NBA, there's a huge disparity in how to coach. Like you've got to really change the way you coach because these guys were like, I got a contract. My contract, if I want to sit out because I don't like you, I will. I don't have to play. Like, I'll still get paid.
Yeah. So I mean, I remember for years there was talk about Krzyzewski getting hired by the Lakers. Like almost any time a head coach, like the head coaching job with the Lakers became open, from I want to say like say mid '90s on, Krzyzewski's name was always floated, but it never really went anywhere. But yeah, there's we always talk about in football about college coaches not translating to the NFL and how there's been a ton who haven't. But it happens in basketball too. I mean, Patino's one. I mean, John Calipari really is another. Um, Joe probably wouldn't object if I threw Billy Donovan on that list now too. So it happens. And the funny thing is with Patino, so he began his coaching career way back in 1974 as an assistant at the University of Hawaii. Then he moved on to become an assistant at Syracuse. Then he became the head coach at Boston University for a few years. Then he moved to the Knicks as an assistant coach for 2 years. Then he jumped back to college and coached at Providence for a couple of years. Then he came back to the Knicks for 2 years. Now, the first year was not good. They were 38 and 44, but they still made the playoffs. The next year, they went 52 and 30, pretty good. They also won a playoff series. And then he quit. And that's when he took the Kentucky job. And it's really kind of head scratching in a way because the Knicks look like they're a team on the rise. They've got Patrick Ewing. They've got other pieces. They just won a playoff series, blah, blah, blah. Kentucky at that time was coming off the near death penalty uh, punishments that they
Yeah.
received. Now, he turned them around really quick and everything, but my dad, I know, has resented Patino pretty much ever since then, if he didn't before, because he quit on the Knicks to go coach at Kentucky, a school my dad has never liked. Um, so he does everything at Kentucky. He wins a national championship, and then he jumps back to the Celtics, and he coaches the Celtics for 3.5 seasons, and he compiles a 411 winning percentage, and that was it for him in the NBA. He went to Louisville. He was at Louisville for years. Then he had all the scandals there, and so he resigned in disgrace, and he went and coached overseas. Then he came back at Iona, and he had some success there. And then he took the St. John's job, and he's had success again there. Yeah. He's been a successful coach everywhere he's been, except the NBA, except that 1 year with the Knicks. So, because he has, he has taken 1, 2, 3, 4. He's taken every program that he's been the head coach of to the NCAA tournament. He made an appearance in the NCAA tournament with Boston U back in 1983. He took Providence to the Final Four in 1987, which is pretty amazing. Like I said, he won the national title, made multiple appearances at Kentucky. He won the national title. No, he didn't. At Louisville. You know why I said that, right? Because it was vacated. But then he took Iona to the tournament a couple of times, and I was taking St. John's to the tournament a couple of times. And a little disappointing, I think, the last 2 years. They've won 30 games, but they lost in the second round and then in the Sweet 16 in his last 2 years. So he's probably already going to start to feel the pressure. All right, when are you going to get us to the next step? Which is a fair question in one way. And the other way is he could also probably say, well, goddamn, now they're expanding the tournament to 76 teams or whatever the hell it is. Now it's going to be even more difficult.
Yeah.
So I do want to jump back to the NBA real quick, since we kind of like circumnavigated back to, well, we're still on basketball, but somehow we got into college.
Well, the question always remains, what is the NBA?
So with playoffs going on, how elated, Joe, were you to see LeBron's team get swept in the second round of the NBA playoffs?
Fan-fucking-tastic.
I know, it was awesome. And just so folks understand, we do not hate LeBron in the fact that how good of a player he is or anything like that. What we really detest at this point in time is the constant, he's the GOAT, he's got all the records, he's the GOAT, because he's played for 23 years. He's the GOAT for this. And then people complain that, well, the only thing that Michael Jordan can people say is, well, 6 rings to 4. Um,
There's a lot more to
and
that than that, but yeah, people don't. It's the narrative and propaganda from the LeBron. I'm not going to be rude, but from the LeBron narrative and Clutch Sports and Rich Paul and all that jabroni. Let's control the narrative to make LeBron look the greatest when he's not. That's all.
so, um, it was, I think, for LeBron fans, it should be a little humbling to see his team get swept in the second round of the playoffs when they struggled in the first round of the playoffs. Like, it was not an
Mhm.
easy series for them. Yeah, I think they won that series, what, 4-1? I think that's what that series was. I'd have to go back
Four
and
two,
look.
I think maybe. I forget. I think
But
it
it
might have
wasn't
been
like
6.
easy wins. I think they had God, I should just look it up. Let's just see Lakers.
And it's also the narrative. Well, he's in his 40s. He can't be the number one. There's always an excuse.
Yeah, it was
Or
4-2 against the Rockets.
there's
And
always an excuse of
they're
why they don't win when they lose. And it's like, listen, this NBA is easy to play in. Sorry, it is. There's no so he can still be a number one option even with Luca being out.
yeah,
Um,
and they only had
if
one
he's so
blowout
great,
win.
that's what he's supposed to be. And if you're going to use the excuse that he didn't have help, then you're losing points on the GOAT debate, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, they only had one blowout victory in that series
Mhm.
against the Rockets, and that was game 6, where they won by 20. Every other game was within 10 points.
Mhm.
So it was not an easy series for them when it should have been. Because the Rockets weren't terrible, but they weren't really good either.
No, I mean, look,
Um,
they have that team. That Lakers team has so much defensive, issues. Go figure. Um, that yeah, it's gonna be challenging for them to win a championship in the NBA
right.
playoffs.
Because you have LeBron, who takes pretty much almost every play off now for defense.
Yeah, he's situational. That's all. He's been like
And
that for
then
years now.
Luca, who has always been a defensive
Hmm.
problem since he's been in the NBA. He's never really been good at defense. He gets
Reeves is
blown
a
by really.
Reeves is also another defensive issue too. They have like 5 guys in that team that have defensive issues.
So it's just one of those things like, fans want to. I saw this one thing from, I don't know if he was being, if it was supposed to be satire, if he was being serious, but he was picking people who were not, that have no stats or very little stats compared to LeBron's stats at 41. He picked um, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who played at 41, but Kareem was, at that point in time, he was just a role player. Like, he was not Kareem, the main man Kareem, because you had Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was the man on that team at that time. You also had James Worthy. He was a more of a point scorer than Kareem was. Kareem was just there at that point at 41. He put in Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't even play at 41. How can you, like, of course he doesn't have any stats. I forget what, there was like 3 other, oh, Bill Russell. Bill Russell had no stats at 41 because he didn't play at 41. He was already retired. Like, he threw a whole bunch of guys in there. I'm like, and that's why I said I don't know if this is satire or if he's being honest. Yeah, LeBron had good stats for 41, but he also didn't play half the game. Like, if he would have been actually running up and down the court, he wouldn't have had as many points because guess what? He was cherry picking probably a quarter of his points every game.
Yeah.
Like, right now, LeBron is not playing, and Kevin Durant and him were on a podcast together, and they were laughing about dominance, and they both alluded to the fact that they are playing for longevity. Longevity is where the GOAT debate happens. No, it doesn't. GOAT debate
They
is
think
based on
they're
dominance
trying to
of the
change it to
game.
that. That's the problem. They're trying to change
Right.
the narrative to be that.
The GOAT debate is based on not just numbers and what you're able to put up during your career. It's partially that, but it's also, did you dominate the game? And at no point in time did LeBron dominate the game of basketball where if you wanted a championship, you were going through LeBron's team, whatever team that was that he was on. When Jordan was playing, once they were able to get all the pieces of the pie put together, and that's what happens when you put together a championship team, especially in that era. That era was different in regards to how trades happened and everything like that. Contracts were drawn up. It was very different. So I hate when they're like, well, he had a super team and he had to wait until all the pieces. Yeah, because you couldn't just go off and trade, and there was no, what was it? Is the free agency was, I don't even know if they had free agency.
And free agency was very different back then.
Yeah, so it was just different. Like guys just didn't walk out of contracts and leave money on the table. That they were. It was more hard and more of an ironclad type contract. So it was very different. So yeah, Jordan had to wait for the pieces to come to him, where LeBron went and found the pieces. He stayed in Cleveland for a very long time, but they were not getting the right pieces. So he's like, okay, I'm leaving. And he went and found his pieces. He went to the team to get pieces.
And you know what? It's kind of funny. I go back and look at LeBron's first run with Cleveland. He really didn't have that bad. He really didn't have that bad of teammates. I'm gonna be honest. You go back and you look at some of his teammates and like look at their stats and what they were doing. He had some pretty damn good teammates.
Was Varejao on the first run, or was that the second run, Varejao? I can't remember.
Varejao was first run.
Okay.
I think
Varejao wasn't a terrible player.
I think Varejao might have been on the second run too, because I think he played in Cleveland for a long time. But like he had, like, people forget, he had Larry Hughes on his team. He had Antoine Jamison still in good prime, per se, not at the end of his career. He had some good players. Like if you go back and look to see what he played with, he had good players. He has some pretty good teams. So those teams could have done better than what they did, but they just didn't. And I think at the point he wanted to be with other superstars. He didn't, like, I just kind of, it's weird with me with him that when he went to Miami, because he wanted to be with other superstars. Like he had good teams. And I feel like a lot of the fans shit on those at Cleveland for those teams he was on. Oh, they weren't good. They were garbage. Da 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 da. Like, really, were they? What, you guys forget who he was on his team, and I just kind of feel like that the bad narrative, in regards to it. You know what I mean? And
A lot
it's
of it
the thing
is-
too is its eras. Like it's everyone compares era. You can't compare every little detail from era to era to like nitpick on what you want to be pro Jordan or pro LeBron and all that jazz. Yeah, Jordan didn't have a good record against the Celtics. He came into the league against the fucking dynasty Celtics. You put LeBron on that Bulls team in '84, he's not fucking doing anything against that fucking that Lakers team. He's not
No.
doing anything against anything different against that fucking Detroit Pistons team. So that's the whole dynamic. Like a lot of these guys today, I don't care if they were born and grew up in that time frame, you're still, history shows you're going against dynasties. Good luck. You got to conquer that dynasty. So
Yeah.
when they talk about, oh, Isaiah's, that fucker's so salty to the end of time, Jordan couldn't beat us. Yeah, he had a bad record against you guys. It is what it
You
is.
guys against the Celtics until you finally figured it out.
Yeah, and speaking of that, they got their asses handed to them by the Celtics multiple times. So it's the circle of life back then in the NBA. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, he didn't.
Teams
I
rose
have
to
to.
dominance.
I have to look to see what Jordan's record was regular season wise against the Lakers. I don't know, but nonetheless, I mean, the other thing too is there's this new narrative going on that all the teams that Jordan faced in the NBA Finals were weaker than what we thought, and pulling out this bullshit stats about how bad they were. We could pull the same shit about every fucking NBA finals teams you fucking played against too.
Now, I will say this, okay? The one thing that LeBron can definitely say is, in regards to a team that was like stacked and was so good, he never played. I will say this: he never played a Golden State Warriors team.
Yeah.
But that's because his team was the Golden State Warriors team.
Yeah.
Everybody had to play him. Like they were the 72 plus win team. You know, they were that team where
Yep.
Golden State became that team. So true that he never played against the team that was that dominant in the West. So okay, we'll give him that.
There were
But
a lot of good teams in the 90s and a lot of good
there was a
teams.
lot of good teams that dominated the West Division that
Yep.
that Jordan had to play against. The thing that other people that they like to throw out too is when when Jordan left, his team still won 55 games and made the playoffs.
Mhm.
Okay, don't disagree with you on that. There's a reason for that, and people were like, "Well, that's because Scottie Pippen was so good." Jordan was the type of player that demanded excellence from his teammates.
Yep.
He demanded that they play better. John Paxson, was it John Paxton? Or was it Steve Kerr? It was one of those two. I can't remember.
They've both
He
made
would
comments
pass.
about that.
He would not pass them the ball until they proved to him that he felt that they proved to him that he could trust them with making a shot.
That was probably Paxson. So I think that was earlier. Because
And
Paxson played on those teams before, played on the Bulls losing teams too before they won.
Yeah.
So he was there for
And
a while.
So he had to Jordan wanted to make sure that if I pass you the ball, you're going to be able to make a shot. Now, did they always make the shot? No. But in key situations, he's like, okay, this is a team thing, but if I can't trust you to help this team win by making shots and playing defense, then I'm not passing you the ball. I'm passing it to somebody else, or I'm taking a shot myself.
And that's where Jordan
I
got
can't
the
say
whole-
that about LeBron. I can't say there was ever a time that we heard that, oh, I was LeBron's team and man, he made me a better player. And maybe people and to Jordan's discredit here, we'll say discredit because his teammates they pissed him off. He pissed them off. Like his teammates sometimes hated him because of the way that he was. But they also understood it when they started winning and when they won championships. Like, okay, yes, he was an asshole, but we won. Like, despite him being an asshole, have a teammate.
Your
we
name's
won.
on a banner. Your name's cemented in history as being on this specific team and this specific year that won this specific championship. So yeah, definitely. And here goes the whole era thing again. Look at the teammates Jordan had for his first couple years. Who was he really going to trust on that team? There really wasn't anybody. Reggie Theus was like the main guy on that Chicago Bulls team before Jordan got drafted. And not any of the credit to Reggie Theus. He was a good player, but he wasn't I think he'd been to the All-Star game a couple times, something like that, but he wasn't that top tier player that Jordan was. So when you surround Jordan with teammates that can just mostly a lot of role players just doing their thing and not really having a second scoring option, yeah, Jordan's going to do what he needs to do to try to win every single fucking game. And that's really the logistics of it. You know what I mean? And he made no excuses back then too. There was times where they had leads against that great Lakers dynasty in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, you might have a lead with 4 minutes left in the game of like 6 points, but you're playing a legendary team. Have fun keeping that fucking 4-point lead in the last 4 minutes because they're going to amp up their gameplay and they're going to do what they need to do to take out the lesser team. And that's how it should be,
And when Jordan realized that, he was his understanding of the game and what he needed to do personally for himself to be better. He knew going into the offseason after they lost to the Pistons, the second time? And Pistons won their second championship, I think it was. He knew he needed to get in the weight room and he needed to bulk up. Now, he was never going to be LeBron size. That would make no sense as a shooting guard.
No.
But he knew he needed to put on some muscle and put on a little weight because of the style of play that he had and the way that the NBA style was back then, just in general. If he didn't do it, he was going to continue to get beat up anytime that he went to the middle. Because he knew that he was going to face Detroit again and that they were trying to take him out. So he went into the gym on his own to get bigger and get stronger so he could take the punishment that was going to be dealt out to him. How many players, and I'm not just saying this about LeBron now, how many players do that? Like evaluate their own game beyond the skill level and say, okay, this is what I'm lacking. A lot of players look at they just focus on the skill. What am I lacking skill wise? He knew he was lacking size ability. Like he knew his skills were fine and he was always working on his skills. He was one of the most dedicated freaking workers.
Because nowadays they don't have to worry about like their body physique to a certain extent. They're only keep worrying about their body physique as far as keeping it healthy and not being, keep it injury prone. And they just work on their skills because they don't have to worry about a style of defense and a style of NBA play like it was back then.
No.
So that's, a lot of aspects to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, unfortunately, there's just, the debate is always going to be there. And I've heard so many arguments for LeBron, and unfortunately, a lot of those arguments aren't, just not legitimate enough to,
No.
you're not going to change my mind.
Yeah, I'll never take away the ability for LeBron to be able to play as long as he did. I will put an asterisk next to this and say a lot of load management, a lot, especially in his later years, taking plays off to that he's only really playing half the time that he's in there to his fullest extent. Like if you're going to be on the court, be on the court. If you don't, if you're just there to stat pad and get cherry picking points, that's pointless to me because you're actually, yes, you're scoring points, but you're hurting your team on the other end because you're not helping them defensively.
Yeah.
The amount of time that he spends on the ground or complaining to refs about not getting fouls. And I heard freaking, what the hell is his name? Their coach, what's their coach's name? JJ Redick say LeBron is one of the biggest guys that doesn't get foul calls. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, maybe in his later years, just because
Mr. Flopper doesn't get foul calls. It's a fucking joke. It's another narrative that's such bullshit.
Like maybe now in his later years, because the refs are watching him and going like, dude, you didn't even get hit. What are you doing on the ground? Like maybe that, but that definitely has not been his whole career of not getting calls. He's probably one of the guys that got most calls, just like Jordan did. Jordan got calls too. Like you're not gonna sit here and say Jordan did get calls. It's they in the NBA. If you watch, so there's been very few, but it does happen. They're told by the higher ups to not call fouls on certain players, so they don't foul out of games.
Yep.
They're given leeway. They're giving calls so that they get to the free throw line more. Like it's just the way that the NBA is structured. They structure it that way and they do it that way so that the stars are on the court when they're supposed to be, that they're not fouling out of games. Trust me, Jordan probably could have fouled out of games. I'm sure LeBron could have fouled out of games, but you'll never see it happen.
Very rarely.
Almost, yeah. Like if you see it happen, it's a freak accident.
Since LeBron's been with the Lakers, this is how many games he's played every season. 55, 67, 45, 56, 55, 71, 70, and 60.
So only 2 times he's broken the 70 game mark.
Yep.
Wow.
He's played 82 games one time. That was his last year in Cleveland. He's only broken the 80 game mark 3 times in his career. His second season, and then the 2008-2009 season where he had 81.
That is nuts.
Now, mind you, he has had 79, 78, 76, 79, 76, 77, 76, 77. He's had some 60-ish games in his run with Cleveland, Miami, and then Cleveland again.
I will say this though about with that is,
but still though,
in this day and age of basketball, if there is any kind of like I'm sore from this or my pinky hurts, they will sit. Like guys just sit. Even if it's just one game, they will sit for a game. And I don't know if that's the team's making that decision for players or if that's a player decision. I don't know. But it is definitely like, ow, I've got a paper cut and I'm sitting. I know that's a little extreme, but still, That's the way that the NBA is at this point in time. Guys will take days off for the most ridiculous things that in the 90s and early 2000s. We'll stick with 90s. Those guys wouldn't take off unless they had a broken leg. Like, like
You
there
know
was
what's
no such.
great? You know what's crazy? I'm looking at his stats. His rookie year, when he won Rookie of the Year, of course, he actually was ninth place in MVP voting
That doesn't surprise me.
off of 20 points a game, 6 assists, and 5.5 rebounds. He was ninth in MVP. Interesting.
It was more about it wasn't about his stats. It was more about who he was
Yeah,
and the excitement around him.
yeah, that's crazy.
Oh man, I've got Raw playing in the background. So far, it's been a shit show. It's been pretty shitty. And now we got Brie Bella and Paige coming down to the ring, which is terrible. So
Scream mode. No, seriously, that's apparently the name for their little team right now. Scream mode.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
humbug
That's
for
terrible.
that.
It's so stupid. This is the height of creative in WWE right now. Oh, well, we always do Brie mode, and Paige is known for screaming. I don't really exactly remember why now. It's been that long, I guess, now. So let's call it Scream mode because Scream rhymes with Brie. Not really. But nobody said, yeah, but Scream mode, you don't want to have a team name where like the last letter of the first word is the same as the first letter of the second word, so you don't really know exactly where the one word ends and the other begins.
Yeah, Screwed, Screwed, Scrotum. What?
Yeah.
So I want to tell you guys, as you guys know, I was putting together a summer basketball team for my son's grade level.
Yes,
It worked out. I got enough kids. I got 13 kids, so
that's good.
worked out nicely. We've had 2 practices so far because I'm building the practices around my son's baseball practice schedule, which is pretty hectic for Little League. You wouldn't think it would be, but it is. And it's been interesting, and I know we have some challenges ahead because there are some kids that are the same age as my son, like played third grade basketball this year for the first time, and I know what his season was like, and I'm glad I was there because I could influence practices, and eventually he let me like start the practices so that I made sure that like skills stuff was getting taught every practice. Um, it was interesting to get some feedback from some of the other parents that went through basketball this year and be like, yeah, practice is just they just pretty much let them run around and do whatever they wanted to. I was like, huh, because they're like
That's structured.
yeah. They're like, wow, you really kept the kids in line, and even when they started to get out of line, you like brought them back in. I said, yeah, there's no goofing around when they're here. Like, like we have a purpose, and that is, so I don't allow a lot of goofing around. Um, so it was interesting to hear that because I'm like, I don't know how, and we played some of these teams over the winter, like my son's team played some of these teams, and it kind of makes sense now that these kids are on my team and seeing where their skill level is. I'm like, kind of makes sense. Like the one kid was slapping at the ball still. I'm like, that should have been something that was fixed like during your winter season, like how to properly handle a dribble and stuff like that.
He's doing the slap dribble still. Oh boy.
Yeah, and it's gotten better. Like just in 2 practices, it's gotten better. It's still got a way to go. Um, he he's a little bit taller kid too. He can't he can barely shoot a basket. Like it's pretty bad.
Oy vey.
Yeah, so it's like okay, like once my other coach is able to start attending, I'm going to be breaking like 3 kids off and like just working with them on form and technique and stuff so like they can get better. Like they're far behind where they should be. And it's sad. Like this is the state. So just everybody, this is the state of our youth programs. Like either you're playing in an AU team where you're just doing tournaments and you look like fantastic because they're freaking showcases and that, or the kids are really like really far behind. Some of them, like there's almost no in between. You know, I would say by the end of the summer, these kids will be the in between kids where they should, where they're where they're supposed to be skill wise, but they're not playing on tournament teams because there's no need for them to play on tournament teams. Like it would be a waste of resources. I think they're a waste of resources for parents. Anyways, you shouldn't be putting your third grade kid on an AAU team because they're not getting looked at anyways. You're just spending money for the sake of spending money.
No, you're not getting anything out of it. You're getting very little
So,
out of it.
like I saw Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant's fourth grade AAU team championship win, and these parents are going nuts. I'm like, you do realize like there are no college coaches there looking at your kids, right? You know that this was just a money grab for your kid to play on a Kevin Durant team.
Third fucking grade.
Like,
People, do you understand what I just said? Third grade. What are you getting out of that? There's
so
so much development that needs to be done before from third grade to your
and there's so many kids.
middle school and freshman year that those kids are going to go through so many changes. Some kids will drop off and 1% will actually continue on.
And look at how many kids. I'll point out Julian Newman. I don't know if either of you know who Julian Newman is. He was like a prodigy type kid. He never got taller than 5'5". And skill wise, yeah, he could dribble the shit out of the ball, but he had terrible court vision. He was not a good defender. Like the game went past him once he got to middle school.
Yep.
Like now, he had a lot of points. Like he never even played middle school. He played high school, but he was like, as soon as everybody caught up to him, he couldn't do anything. And now he plays in these stupid YouTube tournaments and stuff like that, and he just bitches about being fouled. It's like, dude, you're not that good. Like being able to dribble and go crazy with a dribble doesn't make you a good basketball player.
It just
makes you a showcase player.
You're playing the fancy basketball. Great.
So it's just so
you can cross somebody up with a cool crossover dribble and this, down the next thing. Great. What else are you doing?
So I'm excited. I'm excited for these kids to see where they are now and see where they'll be August 2nd when this league is over, and see, the difference in their ability. Like that's what I'm excited about, because we're focusing on one play, we're focusing on one type of defense, and eventually they'll get it. I do have some kids that are pretty decent though, that are better than what I thought they might be.
Well, that's good.
So it's good. So it's going to be interesting mixed bag of tricks to get everybody on the same playing level and not have the kids that are a little bit better get annoyed with the kids that are not as good.
That's the other challenging part, when the kids that are like really good are like, why are they so far behind? It's all based on who's coached them and who's helped them try to get their skill level up. That's where when I first started coaching, there was some kids that always would do that. And I'm like, why don't you guys, instead of bitching about so-and-so not being as good as you, why don't you help them out as well? I'm like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a coach to help them. It's going to take them time. Instead of bitching and complaining about it, why don't you also help your teammate?
Mm-hmm. Yep. That can never start too young, helping your teammate understand what's going on and helping them with, a technique that they're struggling with. That's just good teammates do that.
Yep.
So, all right. We could continue with wrestling and how terrible it is. Go ahead, Pat. Tell us how terrible wrestling is.
Wrestling is terrible.
Yeah, I'm done with the Io Sky pointing at herself. Oh, look at me, look at me. Like, yeah, I know you're here now. Like that's run its course.
So you know what's funny about that is Cornette hates Io Sky. Just constantly dogs on her, and unfortunately it's one of the things that I have issues with Cornette for, because he just doesn't like Japanese wrestlers. He just doesn't. And some of those times to not like a Japanese wrestler is warranted. Like, if you were watching Okada based solely off what he's done in AEW, you would have to say, why is this guy considered to be so great and everything? Like, if you never saw anything else he had ever done, okay? Because anytime I watch him in AEW before I started watching AEW, I'm like, there's a guy who refuses to take a bump, who doesn't really look that interested in doing what he's doing, blah blah blah. But I always thought he was just overly bitchy about EO because again, he has a thing against Japanese wrestlers, and he doesn't have a lot of tolerance for women's matches either.
No, he
Right.
does not.
Like when they're recapping Raw or SmackDown, he pretty much always says, "And I wasn't gonna watch that woman's match." It's like Last has to try to twist his arm to get him to watch any women's match. It seems that doesn't involve like Rhea or Charlotte or there's one other female wrestler he actually likes now. I can't remember who.
Bailey.
Maybe Liv. I don't know. But Last even pointed out this week. You know what? You've convinced me. I'm getting really tired of the EO pointing at herself thing too. And Last likes EO, but yeah, it's like it's gotten to the point where it's just stupid. And it's like, I'm sorry if you're defending it. It's like, oh, it's her thing. It's her. I'm like, yeah, but it makes her look stupid.
It was her thing when it fit the storyline when they were ignoring her in the ring, even though she was the champion.
Right. It's to that extent. It's like this. You can say this is stretching, and that's fine. It's become like what? It started off as one very specific thing. Like when Austin first started doing what, it was during the Alliance days there in 2001, and he was doing it as a way to intimidate all of the underlings in the Alliance when they weren't getting the job done or whatever. And he'd be like intimidating them in the ring, saying like, "Why didn't you do this?" And like before they could start giving an answer, he'd be like, "What?" Not like shouting. We're just you'd be like, "What?" It was just like a way to throw the other person off. But then it became the whole what? So to me, it's almost kind of like that, where it's like, yeah, like you said, it began as that, but now it's just the general, this is my thing. Anyway,
Oh boy.
Yes.
so yeah, that has gotten annoying for me. Um, I liked on Raw this past week. I even though it was kind of like the same thing that has closed Raw the week before and the week before the PLE, then I actually kind of like the whole Jacob Roman thing because they just continue that Jacob is still beating the shit out of Roman. And this time he also beat the shit out of the Usos, who, again, I couldn't really believe never interjected during either the match last week or on the Raw the week before.
Well, they're not bad guys anymore.
Yeah, well,
Can't just cheat. They're
yeah.
good guys.
Yeah. And then, even though we've seen the spot so many times, when Jacob came running back and basically, speared Roman through the barricade, and everything, I thought the way that they shot it looked pretty good and actually looked really impactful and everything. So it's like, I'm still not 100% sure if the audience knows who they're supposed to be cheering for.
I don't think they know. They're just cheering for whoever at this point.
Right. Like when they were reviewing
Seriously.
when
Tell
Cornette
us who to cheer for. We're confused.
Well, when Cornette and Last were reviewing the Backlash match, and Last said they got to the yay boo spot, he said he thought that the audience was basically going yay yay.
It's a possibility.
I don't remember
think so.
because again, because of how bad that fucking Danhausen match was last week. I think I was both only half paying attention, and I think I'd also muted it, so I didn't really pick up on. Like I said, I got to go
With the
back.
Danhausen clones again.
Yeah, I got to go back and watch the last two matches from Backlash. But yeah, so it's like the audience I think doesn't know who to cheer for. And it's like they're obviously trying to book it as Roman is the face and Jacob is the heel. The problem is Roman is acting pretty much the same way he did in the Bloodline heyday.
Yep.
Maybe he's
Not
being,
much difference.
The difference is he's being nicer to the Usos and Heyman's not there.
Yep.
That's the only difference. Roman otherwise is acting the exact same way. He's talked down to Jacob repeatedly, saying you don't deserve this. You're only here because of me. he's still to me pretty much being a heel on the mic, so that doesn't really help. So I'm like, Jacob's completely justified for saying, "Oh, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna go, fucking tongue and death grip your ass." So yeah, I'm on
Yeah.
Jacob's side on this one. I think I texted. In fact, I think I texted this to you, Joe, the other. I'm Team Jacob.
Yeah, Roman's had his time. Sorry, I don't need to see Roman continue to have a title.
I mean,
Well, this
he's
is
been
what,
nicer to the Usos, like you said. He's been nicer to the crowd, the audience,
yeah,
things of that nature. But everything else is still kind of semi old school bloodline stuff. I
right,
mean, the
and,
whole
and
thing
that
of like he keeps using, "You're here because of me. They brought you back to the company because of me." Like they're still rolling with that. Like everything's so everything that happens within the WWE universe goes through him. They ask Roman if we can bring back so and so and this person and lottie lottie lottie. It's an interesting concept, but now you're putting yourself in the territory of your cousin who's on the board of directors. So like you're treading the line on I'm the reason you're here to my cousin's part of the board of directors, and we kind of saw this shit last year with Cody Rhodes, you
yeah.
know. So it's very similar. There's similarities to that in some
Well,
aspect.
and see, that's the thing too. Is I've somewhat lost my train of thought now because you said something about the cousin on the board of directors, and it made me think of something else. But no, it's what Jeremy said. Roman's run his course. Isn't that what you just said?
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
I'm good
See,
with Roman not holding a title. He doesn't need to hold a title. He's
this is
eh,
why
eh,
I was not happy with him winning the Royal Rumble, and this is why I was definitely not looking forward to him beating Punk for the title, even though I felt like Punk holding the title probably not the best idea because Punk's obviously up there and is a little brittle and every other damn thing.
But he got himself in the great shape, I'll say that.
Right, right, and obviously they worked their asses off in that match. I mean, and fuck, even Uncle Dave gave it 5 stars, so fucking a, so that match was better than Savage Steamboat, better than any Kurt Angle WWE match. Just just throwing that
Just
out
say
there.
it there, Uncle
Um,
Dave. Your
but
ratings.
no, I don't disagree with him giving it 5 stars. I'm just criticizing
Neither
his
do I.
ratings. Um, but yeah, it's like I nothing about Roman excites me. I understand he has presence and he has star power and everything, but what's he done differently in the last 5 years at this point? He's doing the same shit over. And AJ mentioned that he's looking forward to Roman Rollins again, and I'm like, why? I
And
mean,
then they plant that seed on one of the shows the other day.
yeah, yeah. Because Roman was coming out, but then like I think like Pierce stopped him and said, like Jacob's not here, blah blah blah. And then Rollins was like walking by, and Rollins said, "You're in my way," which is like can be taken in like two different ways. Like he was like physically in his way for Rollins to go out and start the show. He's also in his way of winning the title back. This is the thing. What are you gonna do about Roman against Seth? That's going to be different than was before. You're going to have to do it as face versus face. Haven't they done that before? You're going to have it as face Roman versus heel Seth. Haven't they done that before? Um, Not for a long time, I guess now, since Seth was in with the Authority and everything. But it's like you can't turn Seth heel anytime soon. He's got to do all his shit with the Vision, you know. So I don't know. It's once
yeah, and
again where it seems like I don't know that they have a plan of where they want to go because things change, guys get hurt, every other damn thing. But it just once again feels like I'm like SummerSlam is 2.5 months away. What are we building to?
Yeah. It's the other thing too is like is for
Especially when you're doing
me,
that on 2 nights.
yeah. And for me, I don't want to see Seth versus Roman. If they're going to do it, fine, whatever. I don't care to see it because you know why? Because look at how many repetitive matches we have gotten with a certain group of superstars at the top in the past 3 years.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was thinking about too. They are in so many ways unwilling to. There's something we got to build new stars. We got to build new stars. Yes, you do. You have something with Obafemi. You have something with Trick Williams.
Yep.
You could have something with a few other guys who are been neglected a little bit. Like, hey, nice to see you on SmackDown again, Carmelo. That kind of thing.
And it looks like that they might be going back to Carmelo versus Trick feud, which is good.
Right. But they're gonna have to turn Carmelo heel, I guess, because the audience just isn't gonna boo Trick right now, which
No.
is
And Carmelo being heel is totally fine. That works.
yeah, yeah.
Plus their
Um,
history in NXT, it will be definitely fine.
right. And then, so that's great that you're maybe starting to build some with these guys because you do have so many guys who are aging out. Roman, Seth, Cody, Punk, Orton, Owens, Sammy, even Gunther are all towards the back end. You would think they could still all be around for a few more years, but at the same time, you got to be ready for when they're gone, so you're not bringing them back 5,000 times after they retire.
Well, Gunther, I think, can still, even though because of his age, just because of when he got into wrestling, I think he can last a lot longer because of his
Yeah.
wrestling style
Well,
too.
right,
That's the other thing that's his advantage.
right. But my whole thing about bringing them back 5,000 times after they retire seems to be the fact that John Cena just doesn't go away, does he?
No, no.
I don't, I don't, and I'm not even going to try to understand or break down that John Cena classic thing because I don't think there's any way to understand that right now.
Decipher it. I'm not sure how to decipher it right now
Until they give more details, it is utterly pointless to even try to speculate about any of that shit. So
No.
fuck that. So yeah, they just still seem to have this inability to get past certain people. Oh, Braun Breaker, duh. That was the other guy I was thinking.
Oh yeah, Braun.
Guy who built with the future and everything. One other thing, real quick, since you just mentioned the cousin on the board of directors. So Nia Jax fucked up Paige last week.
Yep.
When are they just gonna say fuck this bitch? Oh, right. They can't because her cousin is on the board of directors. Seriously, though.
It's like a distant cousin too. It's not even like a close cousin.
Her problem is she just doesn't care. She is reckless. She can't be trusted. I'm sorry.
She gets into the moment and doesn't know how to pull back, I think, sometimes.
Right. And it's like you can excuse like Stan Hansen, somebody might say, was like that. They said Stan Hansen was one of the stiffest people ever. Stan Hansen had an excuse. He had shit eyesight, and he by his own admission, and he said the reason he laid it in is because he thought if he tried to let it up, he couldn't be sure if he was hitting the guy properly.
Yeah, I didn't want to look fake.
Yeah. And Stan Hansen, again, I'm sure guys who had to work in Stan Hansen probably, dreaded it. Though this is kind of funny because supposedly Hulk Hogan never wanted to work with Rick Rude because he thought Rick Rude was too stiff. Hogan and Hansen were really good friends. I don't know how many times they actually worked against each other. I think they did in Japan. But again, Hansen was one of the stiffest fuckers ever. Hogan apparently didn't have any problems with him. So I just find that funny.
It is quite interesting.
Yeah.
So
Hansen appeared in No Holds Barred too, if you remember.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So I just finished watching.
But Nia just, oh god, can't stand her. Still can't stand her this day.
So I just finished watching the Io Sky and Sol Ruka match.
Mm-hmm.
Must say I wasn't super impressed with this match.
I haven't been super impressed with Sol Ruka yet. Again, I don't want to shed NXT.
There was nothing. There was no what some people would define as a botch. There was definitely some miscues though, where they were on the wrong page, and I'm not sure if it was Sol or Io that was like doing the move too soon or not soon enough, or it was
it wasn't
weird.
It wasn't very clean per se. Sol is good. I like, she's one of my favorite female wrestlers from NXT. She's good. I feel like they're holding back though a little bit with her matches on the main roster, and I think you kind of see a little bit of the, work with somebody for the first time on the main roster that didn't really go very well. And listen, you're gonna have those matches. It's gonna happen. It's live. It's not like if you fuck up, they can just like retape it. Let's start over again, guys, and let's do that move again.
No, it wasn't a terrible match. I'm just saying I wasn't impressed because I would expect it. I guess my expectation, because it's they have really talked up Sol Ruka, is to not see like the miscues that I saw.
Yeah, like what you're saying.
So
nope, 100%.
I'm really tired of freaking Jimmy's hair.
I don't think Sol Ruka is going to be able to keep doing that finish.
Or no, Jay Uso, because main event Jay Uso, right? It's main event Jay Uso.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long Sol's going to be able to do that move on.
Because it seems like she twice, 2 weeks in a row now, she hasn't hit it right, and that's the kind of move that I think will fuck somebody up if you fuck it up. So I just don't. I'm not sure that I see a
It's a
long.
cool move, though. I will say.
It is, but you know what else is a cool move that people never seem to hit properly a lot? The shooting star press, so
Yeah, there'll be times where I think I believe at a certain point she's gonna have to. They might need to change her finisher to something a little bit more different.
But it's so cool, the Soul Crusher, Soul Snatcher. I like the name of
yeah,
the move at least,
yeah.
and it's
Yeah,
a
But
pretty
again,
cool
it
move.
if
is.
if if
It
you
is.
can't snatch it out of the air properly, then just
Well, the problem that I see with that move, and of course she doesn't hit it on EO. EO like doesn't go after into the corner. Is she needs to definitely get more air on it so that she's grabbing people higher than lower. Like sometimes she comes off the ropes kind of low, like, and then the person's got to
Yeah,
bend down to get it into like the catch. So
yeah. I see. Yeah, I agree with you with that. Yeah, definitely, definitely. But like going back to the age thing, like I understand why
Back to
Roman has the belt. It's fine, I guess. They want him to have the belt again. My biggest thing is like I talked to AJ about this. My biggest problem now is they took him off all the dates for June, right? You shouldn't have a wrestler say on a post show that you're going to be there all summer long, baby. And then they take you off of June because you have no projects going on that I've researched for movie wise, because that Street Fighter movie does not come out till October. So they're not going to be doing like super pressers for that shit till at least September, end of August, maybe. So I don't understand what he has, if he has any stuff going on. But then AJ brought up, well, they're in Europe the whole month of June. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's why he doesn't want to go to Europe. But I then went and looked at the schedule. They're not in Europe the whole month of June. They're there for like the first two SmackDowns and Raws of the month of June are in Europe. Then they come back to the United States where they're in like Baltimore, Missouri,
Soul
and
Ruka.
then
Kind of
then
messed
they
up the
th-
soul.
and then they go to London for the O2 for one Raw, but then all the rest of the SmackDowns are all in the US. So, like, if he doesn't want to be in Europe, that's fine for traveling purposes. Then why isn't he going to be on any of the US shows in June? Do we even have a storyline with him? With like, how far is this Jacob storyline going? Like,
yeah.
this is the
Like,
weird stuff.
yeah, because what is Roman doing at SummerSlam? Who was he wrestling at SummerSlam? Are you going to have another match against Jacob, or
Are we giving Roman the fucking month off of June all of a sudden? Even though there's not when's the next pay-per-view?
after Clash in Italy?
Yeah. When is Clash Italy too? I forget.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
it's every month. Come on now.
Well,
he's gonna
it's not exactly though. That's the whole thing.
No, they're screwing it up.
Clash in Italy is May 31st, so that's 2 weeks from today. Oh, they're
Okay.
actually doing it. They're actually doing it on Sunday instead of a Saturday. Ooh. After that,
So he'll
uh
be at that pay-per-view for Clash of Italy, and then he's flying back home when he's already out there, and he can't do any of the other shows in Italy or any other European shows.
then after that, it's a long time before another show. There's some weird thing on the schedule for June 27th, but I don't think that's true.
Let me look it up because I know he's going somewhere with this. June 20. You said June 27th?
Yes.
I don't see nothing out here for June 27th.
Then after that, they are doing a Saturday night's main event in Madison Square Garden on uh, July
July
18th,
18th.
July 18th, which is also the night before the World Cup final.
Ugh.
And then, of course, SummerSlam is August 1st and 2nd in Minneapolis. And then Money in the Bank is scheduled for September 6th in New Orleans, and then after that, I don't know what's next.
Let me look somewhere else.
Nothing else that has been like officially announced, I think. Obviously, we'll get Survivor Series sometime in November, but I don't know what they're going to do between Money.
Oh, the Night of Champions. Do you know what's funny? ESPN does not have the Night of Champions listed on the WWE schedule on their website.
Interesting.
That's why I was like June 27th, because I was looking at the ESPN schedule and I'm like, it's not listed. So I went to the other side I normally go to, and I'm like, oh, Night of Champions.
That why. That why.
So he's not going to be at the Italian shows because he's going to be at Night of Champions, or is he going to be at Night of Champions?
No, I think he is going to be at the Italian show. He may not be at Night of Champions. I think that's what it is.
Wow, people have really taken to Oba Femi.
Oba's listen, I like Oba. Not
he's-
gonna lie, don't care. I like Oba.
He's going to get pushed too far too fast, guarantee it.
That's what I
I'm-
don't want to see.
I haven't seen enough of him.
Wouldn't
I did like
surprise-
this.
wouldn't-
I did
wouldn't
like the match
surprise-
between him and Brock,
wouldn't
though it was
surprise
like
me-
super
wouldn't
short.
Wouldn't surprise me if Oba beats Roman at SummerSlam, and that's going to be way too soon.
Yeah, he's
that
not
needs
ready
be-
to hold the belt and carry the company yet.
No, not yet. Not yet. He should be one of the if he keeps on this pace, he should be one of the younger top guys who gets first crack at holding that one of the championship belts.
Right. As much as I don't like Braun Breaker, he's gonna get his opportunity. I don't know. I just don't see the appeal with him. Like, I'm sorry. like, I don't.
Some people have already saying, Oba's a big man. He doesn't have a big skill set. Well, tell me how many fucking big men have big skill sets. Like, how much do you want big men to really do in the ring?
What does Braun Breaker do in the ring that's so special? He does big man stuff. That's all he does.
Yep.
Sorry, I went back and watched like the last two like Soul Snatchers here. There was the one that you
The Soul Snatchers? What's the Soul Snatcher?
The Soul Snatcher.
Soul, man. Soul. You gotta have some soul, brother.
So her name is Soul Ruka. I thought it was Saul Ruka.
No, it's soul.
SOL. It's pronounced Soul Ruka.
It's spelled Sol. There's no
It's
second
pronounced
vowel,
Sol.
so the O shouldn't be elongated.
Don't you know? in this
Pro
world you
wrestling
can say-
brother. We
you
make
can
our
say it
names the way
however
we
you want
pronounce them,
to.
brother.
Yeah.
English
okay,
language rules do not apply.
So anyway, she had like the in-ring segment with Becky week before last,
Uh-huh.
and she slipped going up to the rope, and it's like the official WWE page of the thing. It's edited. The slip is edited out, but I found it. And then I'm looking about when she just tried to go do it in the match against Io here, because this is a crowd cam footage and not like the official WWE. She goes up, she does it, but when she comes down, like I guess what they were trying to do here is Io was supposed to snatch her and roll her up. But the problem was, and again, this may not have been Soul's fault. Io wasn't that close to her, so Soul basically just hit, and then Io just like grabs her from behind. But it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look.
No,
good.
the miss doesn't look good
and
because it
again-
looks like it was supposed to happen, and like Io didn't get over there.
It also makes no sense to me as a functional finisher because again, it's one of the things that it looks cool. So she goes up to the rope, does like an inverted flip, and she's supposed to be like grabbing the other person's head and slamming them to the mat. The problem is you're doing an inverted flip like that. The way you're going, you grab a hold of the other person's head on your way down. You're not really the way that your body is going, you're landing is it's very hard to make it look like you're convincingly driving the other person's head into the mat. So to me, it's an
RKO with a flare.
No,
Woo!
because the RKO, you can tell you're driving the guy's head into the mat. This is something that looks. I was like, oh my god, that's that good, but it has no functional purpose. It's like something that you could
It
conceivably
takes
say,
two to make it work.
oh, that's actually finished. Yeah, that's the problem with it too. If you have to have that much cooperation to execute the move, it shouldn't be a finisher. Finisher should be like something simple, devastating that don't require the other person to do a lot.
Oh, I did
All right.
forget.
Th-
This
thank
that, of
you,
Saturday
course,
is
Pat,
is
for your
why. And
gloomy
that, of course, is
analysis.
why the atomic leg drop was the best finisher in the history of ever. Because the other person didn't have to do anything except lay there on the mat, and of course, because it was atomic.
I did forget we have a Saturday night's main event this Saturday, the 23rd.
Oh, right. I did remember that.
I didn't. I forgot.
I both did and didn't remember that.
But let's be honest. What do we ever get on a Saturday night main event anymore? The new ones. Nothing really. You have some storyline stuff that goes on. No titles ever have changed yet on there. So there's nothing of true significance that has happened except for some storyline stuff.
Well, see,
And
that's
shenanigans always happens in some aspect and whatever.
This is the thing. So there's 3 matches announced for it. They might add another 1 or 2 this week. Who knows? Penta against Ethan Page for the Intercontinental title. Division against the Street Profits for the World Tag Team title. And a 6-woman tag of Rhea, Charlotte, and Alexa against Jade, Mishin, and B-Fab. Gee, I wonder who's winning that match.
Yep.
Because what you have there are 3 stars on one side, and those 3 women are all stars. And on the other side, you've got the woman that they're pushing as a star, even though like her ability doesn't really actually let her be one, and 2 cannon fodder.
Yep.
Sorry, that's what Mishin and B-Fab are. But yeah, do I see title changes in those other 2 matches? No, and well, I guess it's possible, but probably not.
For the tag titles, that one's more possible than
That's
the
one
other
that I
one.
said I think is possible, but I'm still thinking probably not. There's no way
Yes.
they can have Ethan Page beat Penta just yet. Here's the other thing too. If they want to keep doing Saturday night's main event, something does have to happen on them that's significant. Now, again, obviously the business is so different now than what it was in the 80s. But
Stop living in the 80s, Pat.
meaningful, significant shit happened on Saturday night's main event in the 80s, which was why the shows were important.
Yes.
If you're just basically doing interim Raw, there's no point in doing these shows. And here's the other reason why I don't think much of anything is gonna happen on this Saturday night's main event this coming Saturday. The show emanates from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
What's in Fort Wayne, Indiana?
Nothing. Wait. What's in Fort Wayne, Indiana? A fort named after Wayne.
Good analysis there, dude.
That's why I get paid the big bucks. That's why I get paid the big bucks.
Yep,
Bravo.
a whole penny.
Bravo.
Wait a minute, they don't make pennies anymore.
I know,
I'm screwed.
Yeah, I know. My son told me that. He's like, Dad, did you know they don't make pennies anymore? I was like, really? I was like, well, they must have enough in circulation that they don't have to make them anymore.
Well, no, it's because the cost of making pennies exceeds the value of the penny.
Well, that's because the American dollar's shit now.
Well, it's not the only reason, but in all seriousness, though, Fort Wayne was built in 1794 by the United States Army under the direction of American Revolutionary War General Anthony Wayne, the last in a series of forts built near the Miami village of Kekianga. Again, native name, so I'll probably fuck up that pronunciation. But yes.
Okay. So how much, my last point in wrestling, just because this match is happening now, how much longer are we going to have to deal with the Grande Americano bullshit?
Isn't there a Triple A show going on today?
Yes, there's a AAA show going on that's going to hopefully resolve that. Now, here's the thing. In AAA, the promotion, the Chad Gable El Grande is not very liked anymore. They have taken to the other El Grande
Kaiser,
and his group.
Kaiser.
Yes.
Ludwig Kaiser.
They apparently like Tiffany's ex better than Chad Gable.
Correct. Yep. And kudos to Kaiser. I don't know if he ever knew how to speak Spanish, but whoever taught him to speak Spanish, he did pretty fucking well. I would
Consider
say that.
considering that he's European, that he is actually European. I mean, it wouldn't at all surprise me if he can't actually speak the language
Yeah,
because let's face it, if you're from Europe, you actually learn foreign languages. If you're from America,
true.
you may, but you still don't speak it properly.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's
So
done very
it's
well. I mean, they love the Kaiser group of El Grande. So I'm going to say the Chad Gable version is the one that's going to lose, and he's going to get his mask is going to come off.
That's my guess
it's
too. But then, of course, the only problem is what do you do with him then going forward? Do you
Well,
have him? Do you have him and the Creed brothers go back to being just regular? Well, do you have them go back to being heels, or do you have them as faces? Then, like, but what is there for them to do right now? You know.
yeah,
at
I'm
that
just
point, at that point it might be best just to turn them heel, to be honest with you.
I would say
for me,
yes, but then you got to get the tag belts off the Vision, and then be able for them to be able to feud with the face team for them to really have anything to really do. It seems, or you could have them be cannon fodder for Obafemi for the next month or so.
Well, here's the thing. Let me ask you a question. Since Gable has come back, are they cheering more for Gable or Kaiser? The American crowd.
The American crowd, I think, I think has been cheering for Gable and not Kaiser.
So then that's feasible to keep them face
Yeah,
because AAA is a whole different beast in Mexico. So
right. This is like the Hart Foundation 1997 thing all over again, except we're talking about the country to the south instead of the country to the north.
yeah.
yeah, it's for me.
They could be faces in America and heels in Mexico, and it's going to work.
For
Oh, by
me,
the way,
my only problem ever with this is always been that you are role playing white people as Hispanic people, and that I don't know why that bugs me. It just does because being
I
lucha
get it.
libre is a very respected thing in Mexico.
Yeah.
Very highly respected, even to this day.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
is highly respected. So the fact that WWE, in my opinion, has made a little bit of a mockery of the lucha libre
well,
thing.
that's
It
what the point was originally because Gable was pissy with Mysterio and Penta and all the other like lucha stars that were in. And so
right.
that's how it started, but then Gable got hurt. So then it had to kind of get altered as to what the original point of it was. So to the point that we got what we're at now. So yeah.
Yeah. So like I understood it at the beginning. I just think they've overrun its course. But anyways, that like I said, that's just my opinion.
I mean, it probably has, and I think they realize that too. So I think that's why they're doing this mask versus mask match between the two of them because I think they realize that they need to just kind of move it along at this point.
Yeah. No, they definitely do. But
This event might
it's a
be,
very popular storyline in Mexico. I'd say that. All
yeah.
the stuff I've watched on AAA, yeah.
By the way, I love this analysis of that I saw on a Cage Side Seats comment from last night's MMA fight. There was a video circulating this week of a horse that farted for 14 seconds. To call this match a horse fart would be an insult to horse farts.
Yes.
A horse fart for
Yes,
14
that is
seconds. That is a
great.
really long fart.
Well, think of how big a horse's ass is.
That is great. I love it.
I don't know if the size of his ass has anything to do with the amount
does.
of
I just
gas
said so.
that it can hold.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, here comes the other Lucci guys.
I mean, I didn't watch SmackDown
I
Friday. I
don't
read the
remember much of
results.
anything interesting happening on SmackDown. I think once again, about halfway through, I just kind of lost interest in it.
It's just unfortunately like for both brands. I said this to AJ the other day. Both brands, WWE and AEW. When I watch them, I have too many there's too many moments within those shows where I lose interest. I am able to watch TNA right now without losing interest as much as I do within the other two brands.
I've heard a few people say that. Oh, actually, let me revise what I just said. When Royce Keys, hurts my throat to say that, came out in the middle of that Gunther Cody contract signing segment, and he was like, if you aren't going to sign, I'm going to sign it. I have to admit, I actually went, ooh.
Yeah.
Then when all this made the match between Gunther and Royce Keys, I said, okay, I'm going to watch this. I know Gunther is going to win.
Yeah.
I want to
But
see what they do. And I thought they're obviously doing some stuff with Royce and Solo, which, okay. Solo both entertains me and annoys me.
same here.
Like, I kind of like his mic work and everything. I don't like seeing him wrestle. But anyway.
They made him too much like Umaga.
Yeah, kind of, but Jacob's kind of really taking over the Umaga type thing anymore. But I was like, okay, so I want to see this match to see how exactly they do it, what happens, blah blah blah. I want to see how good Gunther makes Royce look, because again, I know Gunther is winning. I want to see how they get the out of Royce losing.
Yeah.
And more or less because of Solo, who kept calling him Will.
I know.
Solo, you're not in AEW. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, I thought that was, a decent TV main event match and everything. And again, like I said, okay, you're doing something with a guy who's also relatively new and everything. And I actually kind of like that Gunther was being a dumbass and like somebody else came out and said, fine, fuck you, get out of my way. And when Gunther started protesting, Aldis was like, you know what, Gunther? Yeah, you kind of have to earn it, I actually really like both Pierce and Aldis as the GMs, who really sometimes they're helpless to do anything, but most of the time they just don't take shit from the heels. It's like
100% agree.
It's really refreshing after decades of the heel authority figure to just go back to have two guys who, it's not so much that they favor the faces, it's just that they don't put up with the heels bullshit for the most part.
They've done phenomenal jobs as GMs for both brands.
Right, and it doesn't hurt that both of these guys do have credibility as far as being former wrestlers, and hey, they were both former NWA champions.
Yep.
So that's always kind of helped me with with their credibility and everything. I always still wonder, are they ever going to have either one of these guys get back in the ring?
I would love to see a storyline where the two of them do have to go into the ring and meet and have a match.
I actually think it would be more entertaining if they did something where they had to team up against two heels who were like collectively causing them grief or something like that.
Oh, that would be good too.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Because I don't need more Raw versus SmackDown bullshit either,
Yeah, I get it. That would be good.
As entertaining as Eric Bischoff as the minister was. I still go back and watch that clip and just go, they fucking fooled everybody.
Yes. The wedding, right?
Yes, the Billy and Chuck wedding where Bischoff did the minister and nobody knew it was him except like a very, very small group of people. And the way Bischoff told the story about that on his podcast was entertaining as hell, because he said they brought in like these, like, they didn't just go with like regular makeup people. They brought in like real Hollywood professionals, did him over in the thing. And then like, he made it, you look like he thought he was a guy who had like Parkinson's or something with like that like tremor thing that he was kind of doing. And he did the voice. And then he talked about Brad Rheingans, the former Olympic and then AWA wrestler who Bischoff knew from AWA, was backstage at that show, like with his daughters. And he said that in order to like test it, he like went up to Rheingans, who was there with like his daughters, who were like, I think 12 or something. And he acted kind of creepy around them and everything. And they didn't know it was him. So when he said he was able to fool them, he said he knew that it was going to work.
Listen, like he got into that makeup and he was in makeup early for that. So he was
there like all day in the makeup.
Yes. He was
Yeah.
in character all day for that, Jeremy. It was insane.
Yeah, because they put him on the makeup before like any like the wrestlers like really got to the building that day and everything. So I can't remember who he said knew about it. I'm guessing everybody who was in the rings, which would have meant Billy, Chuck, Rico, Stephanie, because that was the whole point was about attacking Stephanie. I have to imagine that all of them knew.
Yeah, yeah.
Other than that, I'm not sure how many people actually knew.
I
Other
don't
than
think
like
I
like
don't
Vince or whoever.
yeah, Vince, of course, but I don't know. I don't know even. I don't remember if he said if the people at the ring announcer guys knew about it either. I don't even know if they knew.
Oh, and obviously Rosie and Jamal knew because
Oh,
they came out and attacked Billy and Chuck and then attacked Stephanie and everything. And yeah, so because that was the whole thing. Like, he's doing the whole thing. It's like, commitment is a very important thing, whether it lasts 5 years, 14 months, or 3 minutes. Wait a second. Did I just hear myself say 3 minutes? And you hear the crowd suddenly realize. And then he starts and he rips the shit off and everything, and everybody loses it.
yep, that was great.
Yeah, that was one of the best angles that they ever did. And it was kind of funny because Stephanie was a face then, but I still kind of enjoyed watching her get her ass kicked. So, well, no, because one of the things that Cornette and Last have hammered on over and over again, and I always like when I'm listening to it, I just nod along, go, yup, is that for years when Stephanie was a heel, she very rarely, if ever, got comeuppance, but she was constantly bitch slapping the shit out of every face on the roster. But how many times did she ever actually get her comeuppance and everything? So it
Yeah.
was kind of, even though she was a face then, it was kind of fun to watch her get her ass kicked. So frankly, it was. But then what was great about it too is, so that was like Rico turned on Billy and Chuck in that and hooked up with 3 Minute Warning. So they were about to like, I think one of them was about to do a splash to Stephanie, and then finally some of the SmackDown faces ran out, and it was Edge, Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle, who tended to Stephanie, and somebody, I love the comments if you go back and find those clips, and I was saying Kurt's always concerned with Stephanie, and John Cena. And this was when Cena was in his first couple of months being there. It's when he was still wearing like the biker shorts and everything before he was the Doctor of Thugonomics.
Oh,
But
gee.
like, so like Angle tends to Stephanie while Edge, Mysterio, and Cena take off over the barricade and into the crowd after the other. So it was like, it's just still one of the best segments they ever did. But yeah,
Yeah, it was really good.
it was fun. It's when wrestling was still mostly fun.
Now we have gingerbread
Wrestling
men in the
now,
ring and childish stuff, but nonetheless,
so just real quick again, just because I was giving this
Yes.
context.
Yes.
Cornette and Last did the review of Backlash, so of course they talked about the Sammy Trick match that they had, which I thought was another decent match because
it was.
both guys I think are pretty decent in the ring. Last asked Cornette if he watched any of the Gingerbread Man funeral segment from SmackDown, and Cornette was like, no. And it's like, God damn it, I wish he had, because I just would have wanted to hear him go off on how fucking awful that shit was. How
Yeah, it
fucking
was not.
stupid
It was not good.
I don't get. Here's the thing: Trick has still been up until that promo he cut on this past Friday SmackDown. Trick was really still acting like a heel through most all of this. Like if you recall, when he was going out with the Gingerbread Man the night where it turned out that Sammy was wearing the Gingerbread Man outfit and everything, Trick and Lil Yachty and the Gingerbread Man are leaving the locker room, and some backstage guy comes running up and is like, Trick, you gotta know. And Trick just punches the guy. The guy was obviously trying to tell him that it wasn't the real Gingerbread Man in the Gingerbread Man suit, But Trick just punches the guy unprovoked. So it's like, and this is the guy we're now cheering for? So
I mean, he's still supposed to be technically a heel, but yet everyone loves
yeah,
him.
that's
So
it.
it's
But
like,
no, as of 2 nights ago, Friday night, he's a face now. Just
oh
after he
yeah,
cut that
yeah,
promo, again, I know it was like his hometown area in South Carolina and shit, but he is a face now.
yeah. Because Sammy's definitely turning heel. It's pretty
Yeah,
obvious.
right. They've done the old double switch, which hey, kudos to them for pulling it off because they did.
Yep.
Um, but it's like, yeah. So Trick hadn't done anything up to that it's like, and it's like, why the fuck should I feel sympathy for this shit? It just
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that really just makes me bang my head against the desk and say, "Are people watching the same shit I'm watching?" Because
But
it
then
feels
yet,
like they're not.
people are like, well, that horrible segment we were able to accomplish a double switch with that horrible segment. So now Trick is face while people still love him, and Sammy's turning heel.
Well, I don't know if always the means justify the ends.
I
True,
have no
true.
means, but there is ends. Like the end of this podcast today.
You have no means, but you have ends. Okay, I'll accept that. I'm trying to make sure that that made sense.
Yes, don't forget, Jeremy. We have the analytical one over here.
Alas, we meet for the first time for the last time. Yeah, Spaceball.
Lord.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Yes. Anyways. So I think that's a good spot to leave off. Call it a quits. Call it a day. Call it a night and day. Day and night.
Night and day,
Day and night.
No, that
Now I'm
song's
thinking
gonna
about
be in my
songs.
head.
Yeah, there you go. Little Kid Cudi for you.
Yes.
Um,
Oh.
But yes, as always, we appreciate all our fans. We appreciate you watching. And if you enjoyed this, great. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a like. Leave a comment. Tell us that we stink. Tell us that we're great. Or something in between. Whatever you want to say. We'd appreciate it. And with that, we hope you finished with us.